Today we are writing some poetry together, so get out your notebook, pen, pencil, computer, and let's go. Yesterday I went hiking to this place called Snow Lake and it is absolutely gorgeous. And I think I want to write a little poem that kind of centers around that place and also like the emotions it brings to me, kind of like this reflection, this like innate beauty in nature, that kind of vibe. Sometimes I write in my notebook, but other times I like to write on my computer. It just depends on my vibe, and today I think I want to do it on my computer. So the first thing I like to do, especially when I'm doing a poem kind of like inspired by a place or like a time in my life, I like to look at the pictures that I took during that time or at that place, so I can just kind of like relive it in my memory. So here are the pictures that I was looking at to get into the mood for this poem. It was a really gorgeous hike. Then I usually open this document and it's called my Laura's Thoughts and Writings document. Right now it is 58 pages of just random like diary entries and random poems that I've never finished. I started to write a little bit of a poem before this and I don't really like it. But I'll share what I had that kind of like begun this idea. If you're curious, this is what it sounds like. I sit down by the lake in old Mount Rainier. It's filled to the brim with snow and my tears, 'cause I ask it the questions I wish he could key. Does the boy in my dream still think about me? Am I still a wish he asked to the stars, ever shooting his shot with the heavenly light? Am I still a thought on the roads that were ours, or does he drive them and think of goodbye? And I don't love it, like it's not really polished, it just doesn't like give me like a amazing. So I'm gonna ignore that one and start a different one for the Mount Rainier Snow Lake type of vibe. So I'm just kind of writing some words that come to mind when I think of like the pictures. Cobalt blue, reflection, ethereal, dreamy, trees, evergreen. Oh my god, okay, so I'm writing this poem. I've written it in like 2 minutes. And it's not done and it's not polished. Writing poems fast like these really makes you understand what is going on inside your mind that like your kind of like subconscious is trying to bring out. Because I wanted this poem to be like thinking about the beautifulness of the world, and then I started writing it and then I was like, wow, there are these common themes in all of my poems that I've been writing recently about myself. And it's just cool that like poetry unlocks this. Even if it's not like a good poem, it's still able to like unlock this like subconscious pain that you have. Like the one I just wrote that isn't good. Keep in mind, it's not like one that I would put in like a poetry compilation. But I'm gonna read it because it kind of is teaching me my own lesson. When I look in the reflection of that cobalt blue, does it mirror me back or the girl I once knew? The one who danced at the parties and laughed at the jokes they said just to keep me wrapped in their hoax. Oh, Mount Rainier, is it okay to change? Do you forgive the iceberg for making you this way? Do you like it better now that you've been carved out with your heart cut away, but you're beautiful now? And just kind of like that was crazy that that's something I've actually been thinking about like how I've changed from this person who I feel like is the past, like this version of me who I feel like is a different person, into like this person I'm becoming now, but I don't feel fully formed and I just feel like all these questions about what my identity is now. And I just think that's crazy that like you just take a second and you write it down and then you're like, whoa, I didn't even realize I had these thoughts, but now that I wrote them down, I do realize that all these thoughts have been like swirling in my head, but like just below the surface. Writing is so cool. So what I've learned from today's exercise is that if you are feeling anxious and you just need to figure out what's going on in your mind, but sometimes journaling feels a little overwhelming. So maybe just sit and be like, what cute little rhyme can I come up with? And maybe you'll discover a whole new version of yourself, like I just did. Thanks for tuning in with me and my little poetry morning. Let me know if you have any other ways that you like to write poetry or write or journal or whatever, because I'm curious and I'm always learning. Anyway, thanks for stopping in and writing with me. Goodbye.